Hey there, calendar. Is it a noun? Is it a thing? No, it's a verb. Well, actually, it's both, but I like to think of calendar as a verb because calendaring is something that I do every day. It's an activity. I start the morning looking in my calendar and moving things around a bit. But I'm moving things around because I have actively taken the time throughout the previous days, weeks, months to put things in the calendar. Now, we all know that when we actively manage our schedule, we're putting meetings, we're putting appointments, places we have to be, events. Those are what we put in our calendar. But I want you to think of your calendar as something much more than that. And really, a calendar is a reflection of your schedule. And people don't often schedule their tasks, their work time. When we schedule those things, they're more likely to get done. We have to do them. But if they're not in our calendar and we know that task is going to take 2 or 3 hours, we might schedule a meeting in that time we're supposed to do that work. So for me, to ensure that I get my tasks done, if I have a significant task, I'll put it in my calendar. If there's something that I need to focus on, I'll put it in my calendar. And the other thing, you can use your calendar just for work, just for business, or you can use your calendar for yourself and your family. So I want to talk about 3 things that you ought to be considering when you're putting your calendar together. And I want you to include your tasks, the things that are significant on your task list. You might have to go and do something. You might have to work on a particular task that's bigger than a bread box. Or you may need time to focus on something, to absorb some material, to get familiar with a process. It could be anything like that. And you just need some time. So 3 ways to look at your calendar. 1, are all of your priorities in there? And again, this could be work, this could be self, this could be family time, depending on how you use your schedule, your calendar. Are your highest priorities accounted for in the fullest in your calendar? The one area that to me has made a huge difference in my life, and I've been doing this for, probably I learned this about 20 years ago, is I schedule my time according to my peak performance. There are tasks that I do very well in the morning, and there are tasks that I do very well in the afternoon and in the evening. I tend to be very focused if I'm working on documentation, if I'm working on numbers, if I'm crunching something. That's good morning time for me. I'm better in meetings in the afternoons. I'm better at tactical things I have to do in the afternoons. I'm better at problem solving in the morning, but thinking a little more futuristically in the afternoons. And so I try to schedule those tasks as much as I can. You can never do this 100% because there are other people involved in your world. Your calendar doesn't just have you in it. But as much as I can, I schedule around my peak performance for different types of tasks. And I've learned where I'm better and what is better for me to do in the morning versus the afternoon, because I focus differently at different times of day. The other thing that I really like to do is to put focus time in my calendar. Now, I've said this for years, and recently Microsoft and Outlook, all of a sudden, focus time is in there. But it's not the way that I use focus time. Okay, so focus time is blocking out some period of time so you can focus. And that's one way of doing it. What I would do is block scheduling so my focus between meetings, tasks, and things I was going to work on were in line. so that if I was working on a particular project, project A, I tried to group everything associated with project A into one day or one part of one day, so that during that period of time, I was focused on that area. If I was doing one-on-ones with my team, I tried as much as possible to move those to a different area, so I was focused on that type of engagement. And I try to group either like tasks or common types of things together, because you get into a rhythm of how you're doing things and you get much more efficient and you get much better focused, which is why I call that focus time. So not focus time so I can work on this thing. To me, that's a task time. But focus time so that my energy is going into a common or like group of things. And so those are the three things that I actively do with my calendar. So guess what I have in my calendar? Time for calendaring. Every day at the same time, I approach my calendar. Now, all fairness, all honesty, transparency, I don't have something in my calendar that says calendar. But I have a period of time before I start my day that I use every day to focus on my calendar and make sure everything's in line for the day. And on Monday's the week that's to come. And then I do a little wrap up on Friday as well to get ready for the next week. So I know as I'm finishing up Friday, what I've got to line up for the next week. So to me, calendar is a verb. And I talk about this a lot, and I've taught this for years, but somebody mentioned to me last week, hey, can I say I'm going to calendar this? I'm like, absolutely, it's a verb. So I hope you'll remember that it's a verb, and I hope you'll take calendaring as a task. Take care. Hope this helps. Have a great, great, great day.